Hey, coin enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of rare coins or just love learning about how certain pennies can turn into valuable treasures, you're in for a treat today. We're diving deep into one of the most intriguing pennies out there, the 1968 D Lincoln 1-cent penny, specifically the one with the famous D mint mark. Now you might think, hey, it's just a penny. How valuable can it be? But you'd be surprised. Some pennies, like this 1968 D, are not only worth more than face value, they're actually worth hundreds, even thousands, of dollars if you know what to look for. Today, we're going to break down its market value, why it can be worth up to $1 million, and how you can spot a 1968 D penny that's truly worth a fortune. Stay tuned! Let's start with a little history lesson. The 1968 D Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which is where the D mint mark comes from. The 1968 penny was part of a series of pennies that were struck during a time of transition in U.S. coinage. It's one of the last few years before the copper content was reduced, making it a more interesting piece for collectors. Back then, the penny was still made primarily of 95% copper, with the remaining 5% being tin and zinc. That means this penny is made with a metal composition that's quite different from today's pennies, which are made of mostly zinc with a copper plating. So, it already has historical value simply because of the materials used in its production. But the real story here lies in the rarity and the special characteristics that some 1968 D pennies have. For starters, let's talk about the error or misprint factor. Some 1968 D pennies were struck with unusual features or defects, misalignments, double die errors, or even overstrikes. These types of errors can significantly increase a penny's value, especially if the error is prominent and easily identifiable. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what's the current market value of the 1968 D penny? The value of a standard, unblemished 1968 D Lincoln penny is relatively modest. You might find one for a few cents to a couple of dollars, depending on its condition. But here's where things get interesting. If you've got a 1968 D penny that's in uncirculated condition, especially one that's graded as a high MS, mint state, grade, think MS 65 or higher, you might be looking at a price in the range of $10 to $50. Not too shabby for a penny, right? But hold on, there's more. If you have a 1968 D penny with a rare error, like a double die, which means that part of the design is stamped twice, this could push the value into the hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. Some examples of error coins from the 1968 D series have been sold for upwards of $1,000. In fact, a 1968 D penny with a well-defined double die could fetch around $2,000 or more, depending on its condition and how much collectors are willing to pay for it at the time of auction. And now, the million-dollar question: can a 1968 D penny really be worth $1 million? While that may sound like a stretch, there are some circumstances where a penny could hit such a high price. For instance, if a coin were to have an extremely rare, well-documented minting error or was tied to a unique piece of American coin history, it could very well reach that astronomical value. For example, if the coin was in pristine condition and contained an error that had never been discovered before, there's potential for huge sums in a competitive bidding market. However, while million-dollar sales of rare pennies are extremely rare, it's not impossible. Coin values fluctuate, and when a penny is linked to a major discovery or iconic piece of American history, it could set records. In the world of rare coins, it's all about the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. So, how can you identify a 1968 D penny that's worth more than just its face value? First, you'll want to inspect the coin carefully for any noticeable errors. Look for things like double die designs, off-center strikes, or unusual wear patterns. The best way to get a solid idea of a coin's value is by having it graded by a professional service like the PCGS or NGC. Next, check the coin's condition. Pennies that are well preserved in MS 65 condition or better are significantly more valuable than those that are worn or damaged. The cleaner, shinier, and more well preserved it is, the higher the potential value. And finally, get an expert opinion. If you think you have a rare 1968 penny, it's always a good idea to have it professionally appraised or graded to ensure you're getting an accurate valuation. If you're looking to sell your 1968 penny, there are many platforms where collectors gather to buy and sell rare coins. Websites like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are great places to start. Make sure you take high-quality photos and provide a detailed description of the coin's condition and any unique features it may have. On the flip side, if you're in the market for a valuable 1968 penny, keep an eye on these platforms. Prices can fluctuate based on demand and condition, so do your research before making a purchase. So there you have it, everything you need to know about the 1968 Lincoln 1-cent penny and its incredible potential value. From modest pennies to coins that could make you thousands, maybe even $1 million, if you're lucky, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and that perfect, once-in-a-lifetime find out. If you have a 1968 penny, take a closer look at it. You might just have a hidden gem in your pocket. We're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and potentially valuable pennies in modern American coinage, the 1981 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. If you're like me and have been collecting coins for years, you know that rare and valuable coins can pop up in the most unexpected places. And today, we're going to talk about a penny that could have slipped under your radar, the 1981 no-mint Mark penny. But there's a twist: it might be worth thousands, and in rare cases, even up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny worth millions. Let's break it all down. First things first, let's talk about what makes the 1981 no-mint Mark penny so special. Normally, every U.S. coin has a mint mark indicating where it was produced. The Philadelphia Mint coins typically have no mint mark, but here's the catch. Starting in 1980, the U.S. Mint officially produced pennies without mint marks at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the norm for years. However, there are anomalies, like this 1981 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, which has caught the attention of coin collectors around the world. The 1981 penny that came out of the Philadelphia Mint typically has no mint mark, but what really makes some of these coins valuable is their unique era varieties. While the 1981 no-mint Mark penny might look like an average coin at first glance, there are key differences in certain variations that could make it a rare gem. Some of these coins have misstrikes, unique wear, or off-center details, all of which can increase their value. Now, let's talk about value. So, what's a typical 1981 no-mint Mark penny worth? The truth is, it depends on the coin's condition, any potential minting errors, and the demand in the market at any given time. A well-circulated 1981 no-mint Mark penny might only fetch a few cents, which is still exciting for collectors, but things get really interesting when you find one in better condition or with a rare error. If your 1981 penny is in good condition, meaning you can still make out all the details of Abraham Lincoln's profile and the date, it could be worth around $1 to $3. That's typical for most circulated pennies. But hold on to your seats, because if your penny is uncirculated, meaning it has never been in circulation and shows no signs of wear, we're looking at a value between $10 and $20. But here's where things get crazy. If you happen to have a 1981 no-mint Mark penny with a unique minting error, such as a double die or off-center strike, you could be sitting on a small fortune. These errors can increase the coin's value significantly. Let's talk about the really big numbers. Some 1981 no-mint Mark era pennies have sold for anywhere from $100 to $1,000, or even more, depending on the rarity and severity of the error. But here's the kicker: in extremely rare cases, a 1981 no-mint Mark penny with an especially rare and dramatic error could potentially be worth up to $1 million. Now, you might be wondering, what makes these error coins worth so much? Well, there are a couple of factors. First, errors like double dies or misalignments happen when the minting process goes wrong, which is rare in itself. But when you combine that with the fact that not many collectors know about or spot these errors, it becomes a goldmine for those who are in the know. One key thing to remember is that the 1981 no-mint Mark penny market is highly dependent on condition, error type, and demand. If you're thinking of selling one of these rare pennies, make sure to get it professionally graded and appraised by experts who can determine the true value of your coin. So, how can you check if your 1981 penny might be worth a small fortune? Here's a quick guide. Look closely at the details of the coin, examine it under a magnifying glass or microscope, and look for signs of unique errors or wear patterns. Check for double die features, unusual wear on Abraham Lincoln's profile, and even off-center strikes. And if you're really serious about becoming a coin collector, consider investing in a professional grading service to authenticate and grade your coins. Coins that are professionally graded tend to fetch higher prices at auctions, especially when dealing with rare errors like the ones we're discussing today. To wrap things up, the 1981 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is more than just a standard penny. It's a potential treasure chest for coin collectors who know what to look for. Whether it's in pristine condition or it's got a rare error, this little penny could put you in the running for some serious cash, even $1 million, if you're lucky. We are going to dive deep into one of the most interesting and highly valuable coins in American numismatics, the 1986 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. The 1986 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running series of Lincoln cents that were first issued in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. However, this specific penny from 1986 carries a unique characteristic: the absence of a mint mark. You might be wondering, why does this matter, and how can a simple penny from the mid-80s be worth a fortune today? Let's break it down. First, let's start with the basics. The U.S. Mint usually marks its coins with a mint mark to indicate which facility it was produced at. Most coins minted for circulation feature a mint mark, such as D for the Denver Mint or S for the San Francisco Mint. But the 1986 Lincoln penny, without any mint mark, was actually produced at the Philadelphia Mint. This brings us to the key question: why is a 1986 penny without a mint mark considered so valuable? To understand this, we need to look at the concept of coin errors and rarities in numismatics. While the majority of 1986 pennies were minted with a D mark from Denver, some of the 1986 pennies produced in Philadelphia were mistakenly struck without the mint mark, which makes them highly sought after by collectors. This unmarked error is considered a rare find, and as a result, the value of these coins can increase significantly, especially if they are in excellent condition. Now, let's talk about the value of these rare coins. In the current market, a typical 1986 Lincoln penny without a mint mark in average circulated condition is valued at just a few dollars. However, as the condition of the coin improves, so does its value. A well-preserved, uncirculated example of the 1986 Lincoln penny without a mint mark can fetch anywhere between $100 to $500 depending on the coin's grade. But hold on. Things get even more interesting when we talk about coins that are in pristine condition or have additional rare characteristics, such as specific die errors, unique strikes, or even proof-like qualities. In these cases, the value of the coin can soar, and we're talking about numbers that can make your eyes widen. In rare instances, the 1986 no mint mark penny in pristine uncirculated condition or with a specific error can be worth upwards of $1,000 or even more. It all depends on how the market views the rarity and demand for that particular coin. There are collectors out there who are willing to pay top dollar for these highly valuable error pennies, which makes them a sought-after commodity in the world of coin collecting. So, what can you do if you think you might have one of these rare 1986 no mint mark Lincoln pennies? If you come across one of these pennies, especially if it looks like it has never been in circulation or is in mint condition, it's a good idea to get it appraised by a professional numismatist. Experts in the field can provide an accurate valuation based on the coin's grade, rarity, and any other special characteristics it may have. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner just starting out, keep an eye out for this specific error coin, because a small, overlooked penny could be worth more than you think. In summary, while the 1986 Lincoln penny without a mint mark is not common, it's definitely a valuable coin for the right collector. Depending on its condition and any additional rare features, it could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several hundred or even thousands of dollars. So, if you're diving into coin collecting or simply keeping your eyes peeled for hidden gems, the 1986 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is definitely one to watch. You never know, you might just have a future millionaire on your hands with the right coin. We're diving into a fascinating topic, the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent penny. While most of us think of pennies as small, low-value coins, the 1988 Lincoln penny might just surprise you. This coin has an interesting history, and depending on certain factors, it could actually be worth a lot more than its face value. Stick around to find out why this penny might be worth millions. Let's start with a quick history lesson. The 1988 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark. The penny, of course, features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse side, you'll see the famous Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American history and pride. The 1988 penny was part of the regular issue, produced by the United States Mint in massive quantities. In fact, there were over 5.6 billion 1988 pennies minted. So, what makes this particular coin so interesting when it's just one of millions produced? Well, that depends on the condition of the coin, along with some rare variations that can make certain 1988 pennies worth much more than you might think. Like all collectible coins, the condition of the 1988 penny plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to perfect, MS70. A coin that's in better condition will command a higher price. For the 1988 Lincoln penny, here's a general breakdown of what you can expect. These are pennies that have been in circulation for years and show signs of wear. Most 1988 pennies in this condition will only be worth 1 to 5 cents, which is not much more than the face value. These are coins that were never used in circulation and have been well preserved. If you come across an uncirculated 1988 penny in excellent condition, it can be worth around 10 to 25 cents depending on the quality. If you manage to find a 1988 penny in mint state, meaning it's been preserved without any signs of wear and tear, it can fetch up to $1 to $5 or more. Mint state coins with higher grades, like MS67 or MS68, can even push the value into the $10 to $50 range. But what really sets certain 1988 pennies apart from the others are the rare errors that can significantly increase their value. Some of these coins have defects or unique features that make them stand out to collectors. These errors can be anything from misprints to double die strikes, and they can make a huge difference in value. One of the most valuable errors you can find in a 1988 penny is a double die reverse, which occurs when the reverse design is struck twice during the minting process. This creates a blurry or doubled appearance in certain details. If you find a 1988 penny with a double die reverse, it could be worth anywhere from $50 to $1,000 or more, depending on its condition and the severity of the error. Another error to look for is an off-center strike, where the design of the coin isn't centered properly. This happens when the coin is struck off-center during the minting process, making it a rare find. These errors can increase the value of the penny to $50 to $500. A broad strike occurs when the coin is struck outside of its usual collar, resulting in a coin that's wider than normal. This error can make a 1988 penny worth $100 to $1,000. Die cracks are small lines or fissures that appear on a coin's surface when the die used to strike the coin becomes damaged. These imperfections can create unique patterns and increase the value of your coin. If your 1988 penny has noticeable die cracks or cut errors, it can potentially be worth several $100s. Now, let's talk about something really exciting. While most 1988 pennies will only be worth a few dollars or less, some rare error coins could be worth millions. Coins with exceptional errors or in perfect condition can sometimes sell at auction for astronomical amounts. For example, a double die error or an off-center strike on a highly graded coin could potentially sell for over $1 million at auction, especially if it's one of the few known to exist. In 2018, a penny from 1943 with a rare error sold for over $1 million. And similar pennies, even from later years like the 1988 have been known to fetch significant sums in the right market conditions. While it's not guaranteed that every 1988 penny will be worth a fortune, it's definitely possible that a rare, well-preserved, and error-free coin could make you a millionaire. In conclusion, the 1988 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but its value can range from just a few cents to potentially millions, depending on its condition and any rare errors it may have. So, the next time you find a 1988 penny in your change, take a closer look. It might just be your ticket to a fortune. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights into rare and valuable coins. Let me know in the comments if you've found any valuable pennies or if you've come across any interesting error coins yourself. We're going to explore the fascinating story behind the 1989 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This seemingly ordinary penny is much more than meets the eye. What could make this coin worth more than just its face value? Well, we'll uncover that mystery and dive into its current market value, which might just surprise you. Before we dive into its value, let's first take a closer look at this coin. The 1989 Lincoln penny is part of the United States Mint's regular production of 1-cent coins. It features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse. But here's where it gets interesting. This coin is notable for not having a mint mark, which is where the real intrigue begins. The 1989 penny was produced in large quantities, but most of these coins carried the D mint mark, signifying they were minted in Denver. However, the 1989 penny without a mint mark is what grabs collectors' attention. So, what exactly does this mean? Why is it such a big deal? The 1989 no-mint mark penny is often mistaken for a regular 1989 coin. But it's not just any run-of-the-mill cent. It's the result of a fascinating error, the absence of a mint mark. This happened during production, and only a limited number of these no-mint mark coins made it into circulation. It's believed that some of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, where they sometimes didn't stamp the mint mark onto the coin. Typically, coins minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so the 1989 no-mint mark penny is a bit of a rarity, especially when considering its place in the modern era of coin production. So, now that we understand what makes this penny special, let's talk about the most important question: how much is it worth? At face value, the 1989 no-mint mark penny is worth just 1 cent. But, as with all rare coins, the value changes based on its rarity, condition, and collector demand. Most of the 1989 no-mint mark pennies found in circulation today are in circulated condition, which means they may only be worth a few dollars. A penny in this condition can fetch between 50 cents to around $3, depending on where you sell it. However, if you happen to find a 1989 no-mint mark penny in uncirculated or mint condition, you could see its value rise dramatically. Coins in pristine condition, with sharp details and no signs of wear, can fetch much more. For example, a well-preserved 1989 no-mint mark penny can be worth anywhere from $10 to $50 in uncirculated condition. Some even say that an exceptionally rare specimen, such as one graded by a professional service like the PCGS, could potentially sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. Now, this brings us to the big question: could the 1989 no-mint mark penny ever be worth $1 million? Well, while it's not likely in the immediate future, it's not entirely impossible. Some coins, even those once considered low value, have skyrocketed in worth over time due to a combination of factors: increasing demand, scarcity, and the enthusiasm of coin collectors. For instance, rare coins with significant errors or historical relevance have broken records at auctions. But the 1989 no-mint mark penny, while rare, doesn't have the same level of collector frenzy as some other more famous error coins. So, it's safe to say that while the penny might be worth hundreds or even thousands in the right condition, hitting the $1 million mark is a bit of a stretch. In conclusion, the 1989 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is a fascinating coin that represents an error in the minting process. While it's not worth a fortune, it's certainly a piece of history that's worth more than its face value. If you happen to come across one, take the time to inspect it. It might just be the key to unlocking a small treasure in your coin collection.